Good evening. This is the Duke of Fremont Street broadcasting from Las Vegas, Nevada, here in the United States of America. Today is Sunday, January 30th, 2022. I appreciate you stopping by, and as always, would like to start my video by drinking a toast to you. I say every time's a good time for champagne. Salute. Extraordinary. Well, the market is open in Asia right now, and both silver and gold have opened down. Currently, silver is 22.33 bid by 22.42 ask, with a loss of 14 cents or 0.60%. Gold is trading at 1786.20 bid by 1787.20 ask, down $5.40 or 0.30%. Gold is actually trading below its 30-day average, which the low was prior was 1790, and silver is near its 30-day low of 22.17. With these ever disappointing numbers, I suggest that you don't get discouraged. These lower prices are in fact a gift. I'm elated. I suggest you take advantage of the depressed precious metal prices and consider it an opportunity to buy more. Please keep in mind that the paper market, the paper spot market, bid and ask are much lower than what you're going to find in the physical market. So the actual prices of silver and gold that you pay will more than likely be much, much higher. Good luck in your efforts to find what precious metals you can on the market today. Precious metals are scarce, and when you find them, you generally have to pay quite a premium for them. So good luck with that pursuit. Currently, it's, let me see what time it is. It's currently about just shy of 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Isn't that a beautiful watch? I collect these old pocket watches. I think they're absolute gems from days gone by. It's another great way to acquire gold. You not only have the benefit of the gold itself, the intrinsic value, but you have the beautiful, beautiful historic watch. That is a nice fashion statement too. In today's video, I would like to change it up a little, and I've talked about it before, but I'd like to talk about it again. I'd like to talk about my comic books. Recently, I've received several requests on how to acquire my books, how to purchase my books. And in today's video, I would like to respond to that request. Let me just start by saying this. My books are inspired by real people and actual events. Each of my books is filled with action, excitement, intrigue, adventure, romance, and at all times a quest for treasure. All my books are set in present-day Las Vegas. Let me begin by starting with book one. Book one is The Duke of Fremont Street, Las Vegas Treasure Hunter. Okay. Speaking of treasure hunting, what do you think of my latest acquisition? I was doing a show last weekend, and I saw this beautiful Art Deco piece, this lamp, of a DC-3. Back in the day, I probably flew in a few of these. But I just was enamored with this piece and felt that I had to have it. Once again, I believe the pursuit of treasure and the pursuit of the finer things in life is perpetual. So, and you just never know where you may acquire them. Anyway, back to book one. The reason I mention it, because I constantly hunt for treasure, and this happens, in my opinion, this is quite a find. In book one, I introduce a cast of characters, and it begins in the poker room in Las Vegas. I moved here about 20 years ago as a Mississippi riverboat gambler, and have been playing poker ever since. The last few years I haven't played because of the pandemic. I don't go anywhere where I have to wear a mask, so unfortunately I haven't played any poker for at least 2 years. Anyway, the characters in the book are bigger than life. I even give you a little bio of each one of them at the end. Some of the characters are actually personal friends of mine. Others are adversaries. And it makes for a truly colorful cast and a colorful book. Incidentally, my books are designed and written for a mature audience. There's partial nudity, mild profanity, and extreme graphic violence. If any of these offend you, please, I don't recommend that you read my books. As I mentioned, I believe treasure comes in many forms, and I think that you can be on a perpetual treasure hunt. It makes life exciting. There's always a reason to get out of bed in the morning. You never know what you might come across. Moving on, book two is The Duke of Fremont Street. He's no myth. That's very old Las Vegas with the showgirls and so forth. And in this book, the storyline continues from book one. And because the three books that I have in front of me actually represent a trilogy. So book two, the plot has already been set, and now the plot thickens. So there's many elements: romance, action, a lot of treachery, and it's kind of like in life. One of the things that happens in the book, in book two in particular, is if you have something, someone always tries to take it away from you. Perfect example, if you have a wife, someone covets your wife. Believe me, someone covets your wife. A girlfriend, someone's always trying to get after your girlfriend if you happen to have one. Money in the bank, people, they actually plot and try to figure out how to get that from your bank account to theirs, from your wallet to theirs. A job, somebody's always going to try to get your job. So the whole point, it's human nature that once you acquire something, you have to be an expert at holding on to that something, because the world that we live in is full of characters that would love to take it away from you. Incidentally, in book two, He's No Myth, there is a catastrophic event that takes place in that book, which did actually happen a decade or so ago here in just out of Las Vegas in Prim, Nevada. And it's a miracle that I actually survived. So I'll let you read it in the book. It's quite an interesting story. In completion of the trilogy, we have and it wraps up a lot of the storyline with a finale. We have the Duke of Fremont Street, the Duke rides again. In other words, in book three, I overcome the calamity and the adversity that had taken place in book two. And it makes for a very, very action-packed book in this series. I think that in book 3, in fact, it moves the quickest because everything's set up for the final conclusion. There's violence, a lot of violence. There's a great car chase in the book. I actually have a duel with one of the adversaries with foils, a la Basil Rathbone and Errol Flynn. It's kind of nice. And then the book is drawn to the conclusion. There's a few loose ends that can carry on into the next story, but the storyline basically is filled in with the 3 books. I wrote all 3 of the books, and as I said, they're inspired by real people and actual events. And I drew the original storyboards. From that point, I hired a gentleman named Carlos Valenti to do my finished artwork. Carlos Valenti. Carlos was originally born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and prior to working for me, he worked for DreamWorks, Lucasfilms, Disney. He did like the storyboard for Indiana Jones, and among other things. He's quite an accomplished artist, and I'm very, very lucky to have Carlos as my artist in this work. I'm the publisher. I tried to find a publisher of the books, and that was near impossible. So I said, okay, it can't be that hard. So I decided to self-publish the books, and that is in fact what I did. The books were printed and made entirely here in the United States of America. Marketing. The last thing I thought about when I created my books was marketing. I created these books for, in answer to some people asking for an autobiography, and I felt that it would be more interesting to have illustrated work than just letters. People today say, isn't that gorgeous graphic artwork? It's gorgeous. People don't read like they used to, generally speaking, so the comic book format or the graphic novel format fits my persona also. Anyway, with the marketing, I decided that I would, be my own distributor. So I think no one can sell the books better than me because I know everything there is to know about them. There's something that's very near and dear to my heart. Let me put it this way. There's 2 types of people in the world. There's those that have my books, and there's those that don't have my books. I fact-checked tonight, the population of the United States currently. It looks like it's about 7.87 billion people. There's a lot of souls out there. When needless to say, only a few thousand own my books. So if you want to enjoy and join this elite group, I strongly invite you to do so. If you do purchase my books, you read my books, and you find that you're not satisfied with them, no worries. I will make it up to you. I'll either give you your money back and you can keep the books. Oh, incidentally, I forgot to mention in book 3, I actually do a news conference, which not only legacy, but one of the reasons I printed these books is because I wanted to go down on record in an unedited format, not social media or any social platform. I own this. I have the copyrights to it. So we discuss for example, in this news conference that's taking place in downtown Las Vegas, I'm asked about my style. I'm asked about the Second Amendment and how I feel about it. I'm asked about cryptocurrency. It's so funny because some of these items are so relevant in today's world. I was asking, for example, is it true that you are against Confederate statues being removed from public places? And I responded, yes, thank you for asking. I believe Confederate statues are war memorials and not symbols of racism. If ignorance and mob rule are allowed to determine what is historically correct, we are no longer a civilized society. And I believe that from the bottom of my heart. A few of the other questions was about the development of Las Vegas and how I feel it could be improved. I can go on and on about that one. About the southern border that we have, and whether it should have more attention instead of like going halfway across the world and defending somebody else's border. I believe that we should defend our own wholeheartedly. A gentleman also asked about my how I feel. Let's see, what qualities do you consider most important in a gentleman? I think it's a very pertinent question. The final question I think is interesting. What advice would you give to troubled young men today? And it's actually asked by a rendition of my own grandfather, who was one of the big influences in me in life. I'll never forget when he used to tell me to dress up and be somebody. And I always thought that's kind of a strange thing to say, but I never saw him without a fedora, I never saw a cowboy hat or a tie, a jacket. He always looked great. Anyway, my goal is to get as many books in your hands as possible, because I would like you to see my point of view on some of these pertinent issues that are taking place in today's society. And I'd love to get your input about those. I sell only in the United States of America. So if you happen to have a desire to have my books and you're in New Zealand or whatever, I'm sure you have friends here in the States, have them purchase them from me, and then they can in turn forward them onto you. Or if you happen to be in the United States, as in particular in Las Vegas, we'll get together, have a glass of champagne or a cup of coffee, and we'll make the exchange at that time. There's a couple of ways you can do the books. I was doing the eBay and all that. I don't mess with that. What few shops have them, I'm not really pursuing that so much. So everything will be coming through my office. And if you want to buy them, you can use the link at PayPal if you have a PayPal account, which is paypal.me/TDOFS, the Duke of Fremont Street, /20. The /20 means you're paying $20. For that $20, you'll get book 1, 2, and 3 shipped to your door, and they'll all be autographed. If you don't have a PayPal account, you can send a check payable to Ronald Wall, W-A-L-L, to Post Office Box 81942, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89180. Any questions, comments, bulk orders, which I would love, because these books, in my opinion, make great mementos of Las Vegas. They make great souvenirs. They make great party favors. I've had people buy boxes. There's 50 in a box. And if you indeed go down that route, we'll figure the postage out at that time. In fact, let me give you my phone number for any questions, orders, or suggestions. My telephone number here in the United States is 702-561-9431. So anyway, I've taken enough of your time today. I hope that you found something relevant in my videos, or my video today, and in the videos I've done in the past. I invite you to look at all of them. I think some of the topics are timeless. I would like to thank you once again for stopping by, and I would like to toast to your health and to your wealth. Salute. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I invite you to do so. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them. I love your comments and questions. In fact, to my knowledge, I've answered every comment that's ever been written to me, and some of them are some very, very good comments. Any suggestions you have for future videos, I'm all ears. I would love to hear them. And most importantly, if you have friends, family, or associates that you think would enjoy my videos, enjoy my channel, please recommend that to them and share my videos with them. In the meantime, I hope you all stay well, and I hope to see you someday in my beloved Las Vegas. So long.